Welcome back to another episode of Connecting Over Coffee. My name's Louisa, and today we are going to be talking about lost in translation, aka going to a foreign land and not knowing the language whatsoever. And I have my good friend, fellow traveler, and great MC for reals, Daniel Gomez here.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I like that introduction.
Yeah, great MC, but what?
You know what? I'll consider it.
You really should. I mean, you host our Werewolves. Werewolves is a game. You host our Werewolf game nights, and
I'm gonna be hosting something at Anime NYC.
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, if I can make a career out of being like a what would you call it? Like a party personality, I guess.
I think there are guys that do that. Like, so there'll be DJs that like set up, and then there'll be a guy like, "Hey, everybody, put your hands up."
I'm a hype man.
Yeah,
I should be a hype man.
Yes. Daniel Gomez.
Back in the day, would that be like a vaudevillian then?
Maybe those guys that kind of go in between like each show, the variety shows, and they're just like. And next up, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm applause to...
Yes. I actually did that once.
I believe it.
In high school, they had me as master of ceremonies for a talent show. Now, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like so nervous that I was shaking on the stage. Some people saw it, but then as time went on, I got a little more loosey-goosey with it. I was like, how y'all doing? Oh, some people are falling asleep. You need to step your game up. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that was okay. You know
something to consider. Future life goals.
Learning something new every day.
Okay. So we're going to talk about our experiences in foreign lands, good or bad, not knowing the language, running into some eras, good or bad.
It's bound to happen.
Absolutely. If you're going to a new country, a new place, and you don't know the language, you're bound to mess up, and that's totally okay too. You'll get over it. They'll get over it. Things will be fine. So with that,
yes.
What was the first country that you went to where you just like didn't know the language?
Oh, well, I would have to say that it would have to be Paris, France. Like the trip that we took there, actually.
Yes. 2014.
Yeah, it was. It was
4 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Feels like not too long ago,
but this particular memory has been ingrained into my head because of just how traumatic it was for me. So we were in Paris, viewing, going to all the museums and such. And we went to this one particular museum. I totally forgot the name of it.
I think it was
the one
d'Orsay, Musée d'Orsay.
Yeah, it wasn't the one that was near the Eiffel Tower. It was. I think this one was more like in the middle of the city somewhere.
But it wasn't the Louvre, right? The one with the big pyramid.
No,
I think it was the other one because I think if I remember correctly, I think it was the Musée d'Orsay.
D'Orsay.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Musée, which means museum in French.
Musée.
And then the way so it's the Museum of Orsay.
Yeah.
That's the way it's like spelled out.
Kind of like Spanish.
Yeah, but instead of like de.
Yeah.
We just take away the E, and so it becomes d'Orsay.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So Musée d'Orsay.
D'Orsay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a D apostrophe.
Yes.
And then like the name of the type of art.
Exactly. Because when you start a vowel when you have a word that starts with a vowel in French, the word before it sort of becomes like the consonant to kind of bring it through. Like everything is very fluid.
Okay.
So that's why it's not.
This is just a prequel to my story.
This is why you don't say Musée Orsay because then you're forced to break up the language, and with French everything has to be smooth. So you don't say Musée Orsay, you say Musée d'Orsay.
Okay. So,
just, like, listen to
so to get back to the story, so we go to the Musée d'Orsay.
Oui.
We go to the
C'est vrai.
Musée d'Orsay, and we walked there, I think, right?
I mean,
Well,
I'm going to be honest with you. That day was sort of a blur. I know we were really exhausted.
Yes.
I think it might have been our first day in Paris, and we were just so tired.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably one of the reasons as well. So it was our first day in Paris. We were hitting up this museum, and we walked there from a train station. But the walk felt like it felt like we were walking around for like an hour or two, and at the same time, I need to use the bathroom very badly. So
you gotta go.
It happens, but this is why. But that's why I stick to my dad's rule. That's like, before you go anywhere, go to the bathroom, see if you have to use it. If you can't, try to force yourself to, because later on it's gonna be agony.
Yeah.
So this time it was agony. It was in literal agony, and I remember asking, like, how much farther to the museum?
Yeah, I think I remember that. You were like, Lou, how much further
How much
is
further?
it?
You're just like, oh, it's like a couple of blocks. Are you doing okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
I think I remember checking
So
in
then
with you.
we finally get to the museum, and a guy comes up to us. I guess we had like some sort of appointment, right? You might have called ahead, and
I think I booked tickets for us. Yeah. So we went to a specific door because I knew there was gonna be like a line.
So he greeted our party, and then he brought us to a downstairs like basement area where we could hang up our coats. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, wait, I don't even know how to ask for the bathroom.
Oh.
You remembered which museum it was?
Yes, but it wasn't the D'Orsay.
Oh.
It was, oh no, I totally forgot the name. But I know which one you're talking about now. Now that you mentioned putting coats in the bathroom, I mean downstairs, I was like, what? No.
So we are hanging up our coats.
Okay.
And the guide is like waiting for us, and then quickly I pull Louisa to the side. I'm like, how do you say how to go? Where's the bathroom?
Où sont les toilettes?
Où sont
les toilettes?
That's probably where I messed up. Like les. I think I said do instead or something like that.
I mean,
so I tried asking the guy where the bathroom was, and he didn't understand me, but I think he got the gist of what I was asking. And I guess being like a good guide, he wanted to take a second to like help correct me and such. Looking back on it now, like I mean, at the time, I was like, oh my God, like, why are you still talking to me? I need to use the bathroom.
So
like,
he was trying to help you with your French?
So I guess looking back on it, I think he was trying to help me with my French.
Okay. So for the future, so if you have to ask for the bathroom again, he's like, you got this, dude. I'm going to show you how to speak this.
Yeah. I think he was trying to be nice, but at the same time, I was in pure agony because I had to use the bathroom the entire walk and the entire time we were getting settled into the museum. So I was like dismissing him. I'm like, oh, please, just show me where the bathroom is. And I may have offended him like that. I mean, because I guess for some cultures, like if you chop up their language, they're not going to be too happy about it.
Well, yeah, yeah. I don't think that might have been it. Maybe it's because you were like brushing him off.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that might. Looking back on it now, I've had years to mull this over in my head. So. Like I have a different perspective than what I had when that happened. So to continue, he showed me where the bathroom was. I used the bathroom. I was relieved. And then when I exited the bathroom, I was still in the coat area, and our group wasn't there. You guys already headed into the museum. So I was like, okay, so I guess they're in the museum. I'll just find my way in there. I ended up back at the entrance, and then there was this grand staircase that went up, and I was assuming after it was the museum. So I was like, okay, this might be like the only entrance really into the museum. So I started walking up the stairs. It was a very nice staircase, I'll say.
Yes.
And walking up, I look up and I notice the guide who helped us with our coats and tried to teach me French was walking down towards me. So I was like, oh my! I'm at this point, I'm thinking to myself, oh, he probably hates me. Like I just dismissed him. I needed to use the bathroom, but and he was trying to talk to me, but I was just like, just show me where. I might have given him not the best first impression of me, so to say. So I'm walking up and I'm thinking to myself, don't make eye contact with him. Don't make eye contact with him. Just keep walking and just go and find your class. So I'm walking up. He's walking down. It's kind of like that it's kind of like those two passing ships kind of thing. And then literally at the moment where we're kind of like even on the stairs, I give in. I look at him and we make eye contact. And I think to myself, oh dear Lord. So he looks at me, and with what I felt was the most like disgust in his voice, he said, he threw an insult at me that I was like, I never thought this could be an insult before. So he looks at me and he says, American. And I'm like, I was just like, Lee, I had to grab onto the railing because I was so taken aback by how disgusted he said that to me.
Oh my god.
and I was really thinking about, I was like, oh my god. And I stood there for like a good, I would say, minute before
Just
I recomposed myself.
Yeah.
Like I watched him go down the stairs, and I was just like if I had pearls, like I would have clutched them. Like that's how taken aback I was by it.
You never knew American could be such a dirty word.
I know. Like it's so weird when someone calls you something that you are, and usually you'd be proud of it, but they said it in such a derogatory way that you're just like, oh, I don't want to be called that.
Yeah.
But
because you know that the implications that he meant behind it, it's like, it's not just that you're an American. You're just like one of those stupid Americans who just are so rude and don't know how to speak French and only think that you're so selfish.
Yeah.
Like all
it wasn't
bad things.
It
that
wasn't
comes with
my representation of American. It was a stereotypical representation that he knew that he was putting onto me, and I was just like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. But then quickly after that, I recomposed myself and I went into the museum, and I'm looking around for you guys, like I'm trying to find you guys, and then I'm mulling this over in my head because it just happened, and I'm just like, you know what? I am an American. Forget you. I was in a crummy mood for about an hour after that because I was just like, yeah, I'm American. I'm trying. It's like a defense mechanism where I'm trying to be tough in the face of being insulted.
Yeah, you take that name with pride.
Yeah. but then afterwards, I found a piece of art that I liked, and then Miss McCabe came and we had a conversation. She kind of calmed me down a bit, so I was like, oh. Thank you.
Yeah, Miss McCabe being our Professor McCabe.
Yeah.
Joined us on the trip. So before you went on this trip, actually, did you prepare for it? Did you start to learn any kind of like French phrases or?
I have to say that before I went on this trip to Paris, I did try to learn a couple of key phrases because I remember you and Mrs. McCabe reminding us that, like, while we're in Paris, we should know a couple of short things. That way we don't get, how do you say, lost in translation.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was trying to study French through a little app called Duolingo.
That's right.
Yeah, but at the same time, I have trouble with, how would I say? I have trouble with commitment. So I wasn't really as religious on that app as I probably should have been.
Yeah.
But I took some things away from me. Plus I had like 2 years. I passed the French Regent in high school.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I passed it by the skin of my teeth. So honestly, it's like.
No, it doesn't really count.
To this day, my mom still gives me crap for it. She's like, how do you say this? And I'm like, that, da da da. Like I try to say it, and then she's like, you don't even know, and you took French in high school. Like, she'll still bring that up. Even after graduating college,
Wow.
she'll still bring that up.
That was some time ago.
And I'm just like, okay, Mom. I guess I'm not the one with the issues of letting go.
No.
Kidding. I love you, Mom. It's all jokes.
Your mom is awesome, though. Okay, so after the experience and you had this thing and you were, I don't want to say traumatized, but it sort of feels like it a little bit.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel towards like the city of Paris or France? Like, did you feel some type of way about it?
I have to admit, like, after the trip, I was like in the impressionable state that I was like, the French are mean. Like, and I noticed that, like, I'm not the only one who thinks that. Like, even just like coming back home, like, my dad will be like, oh yeah, French people are like so mean and stuff like that. But I don't want to like, but looking back on it now, I don't really want to box people like all together, like saying, oh, French people are typically mean, because we've met a couple of French people who are very splendid and very nice to us, and we get along with them despite having like a bit of a language barrier. So it was that one experience that you know, it had a negative sort of effect on me, but it also showed that, like, listen, if you're gonna try and attempt to speak French, like, try to do it right, and try to be prepared for that, because if you're going into someone else's home, you should at least be aware of customs. You should be aware of how to say certain things or what you could say, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like this whole, like, it's a human mindset that when you go to someone's house, you'll be as courteous and as kind, as respectful as possible. Like, you definitely don't want to step on people's toes, or you don't want to say something that could be misconstrued. So my experience was not only a negative, but I felt it was a positive, because it gave me a broader sense that when you do try to go somewhere, you should at least do some research, have a little more knowledge, and be respectful at the very utmost.
I completely agree. I had read somewhere, someone put it best. It's like, like, we're New Yorkers, and so for us, we would get a lot of people asking us directions on things, and so if someone just came up to you, it was just kind of like rah in their own like language, and you didn't understand what they're saying, of course you're gonna dismiss them, because it's like, I don't understand you. But you're more likely to be sympathetic if someone tries to address you in your own language, so in English, because then you can kind of see, like, oh, they don't speak English well, oh, they really need help. Like, and especially if you travel a lot, you just automatically go, oh shit, they need help, like, we need to help them. So yeah, just try to learn a few phrases, even just like hello and you know, where are some things, like, that goes a long way, and people will be more open. And I think that goes for any country, not just France. Just we're open, like, to try to help you. I want to tell you actually about an experience I had not knowing the language. I think that'll be kind of fun. Me, yes. Not necessarily.
You're so studious. I would expect you to, like, know like a lot of things before getting anywhere.
I know. Actually, I have a few experiences of not knowing the language in different places.
Okay.
Not quite as traumatic as yours. I think mine are more funny.
Okay.
Not like this. Yeah, I wasn't traumatized. It was just, well, actually one of them a little bit. So me and my friend Gary, I think you met Gary when we went to Paris.
Okay, he was one of the couple.
Yes.
Okay.
So my friend Gary lives in Paris, and whenever I go to Paris, we always travel somewhere new. And so we decided to go to Poland, and I really tried to learn the phrases. I really did, because I'm a whole hard believer in, like, you need to learn some of the language and get there. And then we get to the airport in Krakow, and we get pulled over by security, by the police. That's another story. Like, why we got pulled over. But I mean, it ended well. But it's just like they basically pulled us over, and they were questioning us and asking us where we were going. And so I was trying to say the heart of like the Krakow square, but I was having such a difficult time. And I was starting to freak out because they're asking us like where we're staying, and if it doesn't sound somewhere believable, I don't know if they were gonna detain us or send us back to where we came from when we just got here.
Oh my God.
And so I was really trying hard to like say the name of the square, which I can't remember right now, but I was trying to so hard, and the lady was just like, "What?" she's just like, "What? I don't understand." Like she just couldn't understand, and then I was just like, "Gary, help me!"
Yeah, like Gary, I need a lifeline right now.
Help. And he's just like, and then I think we took out like one of our travel like books, and then we were like, here's the name of the square.
Yeah, like this is the place.
And then she said it, and it sounded nothing like
what you thought it would.
Like what I thought it would, what I was sounding, like what I sounded like. I was just like, I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Like, and it didn't even read that way. I'm gonna have to get the name of the square. I'm gonna like put like down below, because like it just did not sound anything like what it smelled like, and I was just like so flustered. But they were really courteous and really nice with us, even though they pulled us over.
You're lucky.
But it wasn't like, no, for real though, it wasn't even our fault. Like that was like that was a mess. But whatever, that's another story. I'll definitely be getting to that later on.
That's gotta be scary though. Like aside from going to another place for another language that you are not totally prepared for, running into authorities in another place, like that's got to be a little scary.
And their English wasn't, they didn't speak English a lot either. It was very minimal.
So talk about a real lost in translation. Like you could get in trouble with the authorities and be like, I don't even know what I said,
or how to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I was freaking out. It was actually pretty terrifying. I mean, I did laugh because the situation was funny, and once you guys hear the entire story, you understand. But I did laugh. But then eventually I kind of sobered up and I was like, oh shit, this could be really bad. So let me not laugh anymore. But I think I was just more astounded by the reason why they pulled us over than the actual like pulling over. Like it wasn't nervous laughter. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Was it like you were driving funny, or was it like...
No, you're just going to have to wait and see. I literally am going to have a podcast on this because I think it's a really important topic.
Okay.
And actually I'm going to interview Gary and we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna go deep into this
fantastic.
Because it has happened to us with me and him traveling together. It's happened to us twice, and so it's and for him, I think it's happened even more than that. So I think it's a really important topic.
I am so curious now.
I will definitely get to it, but that was really scary for the moment. But they were so nice. They like, luckily they were so nice that it didn't feel like, oh, so bad. But at the same time, I'm like, they were asking us like, how many days are you staying? Like, where are you staying? What's like all of this information. Where are you coming from? When are you going back? Like, it's like, why do you need to know this? Like, you don't, like, when you're traveling between like one European nation to another, you don't need to get you don't need to show your passport. It's like EU to EU, like no big deal. So we were just like, why are they asking us all these questions?
I mean, that even happens here in the States. Like, if you're traveling across states and if you happen to get pulled over by like state officers or something like that, they'll often stop you and they'll ask how many people are with you, where were you going, what are you doing, like, so it's
a true interrogation. That's the word I was thinking of. I couldn't think of it at the time, but it was an interrogation.
So it is pretty scary to like deal with now imagine answering all those questions, except that you don't know that those are the questions being asked to you because they're in a different language.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty scary.
Like they come up to your window and they're like da 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 da, and then you're just like,
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And like you're like a deer in headlights, just hoping that they don't hit you or something.
Or just something, so it's scary in those respects. A funny situation that happened to me.
Okay, now let's do a funny story. Now do a funny story.
Look, I mean, I thought that story was funny, but I guess you have to know the reason why. But I went to Slovakia and I didn't know a single, and I didn't prepare. Mm-hmm. I normally prepare.
Yes, you do.
I didn't have time. I was going through so many countries, backpacking through so many countries.
This is when you were doing like a whole slew of countries and then coming back.
That was definitely one of them. So I went through.
Oh yeah, she was traveling through like what was it, like 5 or 7 different places?
Yeah,
each place has a different language. It's hard to prepare for something like that.
I went through. Let's see, I went through French and Spanish and technically Catalonia, to German to Slovakian to.
Yeah. So you know what? It's a bit of like a okay. You get a little pass because like
I didn't get to prepare.
because like you're traveling through 7 different areas with 7 different languages. So like it's hard to prepare for that.
No, but it's like but the Slovakian language. I did like one of those free walking tours. The woman said it's notoriously the most hardest language to learn in the planet.
In the world.
I'm gonna cut to that. Y'all have to see this video.
And now the most difficult part, this is even difficult for the Slovaks to pronounce, so I hope I won't mess up. So try to repeat after me. So, strč, prst, skrz, krk. Amazing, perfect. And so, I give up. Strč, prst, skrz, krk. Perfect, yes. Strč, prst, skrz, krk is easy for you, so, but hopefully it doesn't end there, so, strč, prst, skrz, krk, ak, prst, skrz, krk, krka, strč, krk.
Whole video of like this girl going like, let me tell you a whole sentence. It was like, and I was just like, what?
It's like, what were those sounds that came out?
I literally have a video of that. It's great.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, so the funny story is I went to this bookstore because I just love going to bookstores. It just doesn't matter what country. I just love bookstores. And I saw this cute ass like bookmark. And it had like a little owl perched on like a set of books. And it was the cutest bookmark. And I was like, and it's a magnet. So I love magnet bookmarks. You know, it stays in place. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna buy this, you know. I don't know what it says. It had like some kind of phrase on it. And I was like, I don't know what this says, but it's stinking cute. I love owls and like little books. And so I go and I pay for it. The lady at the desk was gracious enough not to like, I don't know, laugh at me for what it said on the bookmark. And I just walked away. I said, thank you, and headed out. And then once I got back to New York, I checked out like through Google Translation, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does it say?
And it said something along the lines of like, from your loving grandmother. And I am not a grandmother.
And wait,
I'm not even a mom.
was it a gift for someone?
No, I think it was meant to be like, if you're a grandmother, you're gonna buy this for your granddaughter.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really cute. I didn't know. So now I have a bookmark.
Do you still have that bookmark?
I do. I will have to find it, dig it out, and take a picture and like show it here because it was just cute. Anyway, whatever. Well, despite I don't know about you, but I know despite my experiences in Poland, I would definitely go back because actually, I mean, even those guards were super nice. Everybody in Poland was absolutely a doll. Like they were just amazing, nice people, like willing to help out. They went the extra mile. I would go back to Poland. Now, question is, would you go back to Paris?
I think I definitely would like to go back to Paris. Mostly because like when we were there, we kind of had a very strict itinerary, so we didn't get to relax as much. And you know, it's fair that we didn't get to because it was a school trip, so technically we needed to do
vacation.
It wasn't a vacation.
We had agencies to go to.
Yes, I would love to go back to Paris vacation style, so that way I could do a little more sightseeing, and even just like, you know, keep a couple of phrase cards on me just to make sure, and have like maybe a picture on the back of them. That way, if I'm not saying it correctly, I'll just show them the picture. They'll be like,
a little flashcard, like, this is what I need. Give it. No. Yeah, so the lesson here is do try to learn some phrases. It's helpful until you can actually afford one of those devices.
Yeah, when they come out in the near future. I don't think any are available.
They're not. They're still like beta testing it. I don't think it's like fully there yet. So until then,
I mean,
learn some phrases.
It's definitely going to be like a tricky piece of equipment.
And actually, that's one of the things that I'll be doing on this channel, is teaching people how to say. I only know 2 other languages besides English, and I'll definitely be going through some helpful phrases that people should know, and as well as like, how to count up to 10 in French and in Spanish. So definitely stay tuned for that because it's exciting. But I'm excited to share that knowledge. I think it's important for people to be able to know that and to feel more confident going in too. I know that's how I felt because the first time I went to France, I knew nothing and I had to like bombard my coworker and just be like, help.
Like, just be like, tell him this.
No, I was legit like, I had my Post-it. I'm like, okay, and what next? What next?
Okay.
Like, I was literally writing everything down because it was so important, and it worked. It worked. Everything she taught me, I underneath it too. I also wrote like how it sounded like in my ears, the phonetics of it. Like, what did it sound like? And so it worked. It was scary as all hell. Like, I'm not gonna lie. My first time in Paris, I was scared to death. It was the worst first day of my life. I wanted to go home right away. But I got through it, and that was such a self-defining moment. So I feel like you need to have one of those.
I do.
Maybe not so much in Paris, but maybe another country.
But like, if anything, like a language that I'm really curious about learning is actually American Sign Language.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Cause
that's right. You just said you were learning.
I mean, me being half Italian, I talk with my hands like this. So I'm like, why not put my hands to work? Like, actually.
Do you know some?
I do know how to say, where's the bathroom?
Oh, show us how.
So usually putting your finger up and then waving it is where.
Okay, where? Oh, that makes sense. Like where?
Where? No, just side to side. It's not like a twirl.
No, I know, but I'm thinking like,
So it's like where, and then you put your finger like this, and it's bathroom.
Okay.
So if you put it together, it's more like where's the bathroom. So it's a sign for bathroom doing the motion of where.
So you're doing this language, like this.
Yeah,
motion.
so I believe this is how to say where. This thank you.
Oh. Thank you.
Father and mother.
Okay.
And I remember because there was this video I saw, and she did like a couple of like key phrases, like this is obviously I love you.
I love you.
I can't nothing really is coming to my head.
No, that's okay.
But like,
that's still cool,
but
though.
I always remember this because I need to know where the bathroom is. Because I'll need to know where the bathroom is. That's probably the first phrase you should learn in any language.
For emergencies.
Like, for emergencies. The first phrase you should learn in any language is, where is the bathroom?
And on that note, thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope you guys will take away some good and some bad from here and just learn from our mistakes and go in there.
Learn from our mistakes, make some of your mistakes.
Yes, because mistakes are fun. I mean, stupid has stories, literally. Just make mistakes, but just be true to you, be humble, be gracious, and trust me, it'll go a long, long way.
To quote a Disney movie, from mistakes, you learn something. From success, not so much.
Pretty much. So, do you want to tell them where they can follow you? Do you even want them to follow you?
You guys could follow me. I'm mostly posting to Instagram. It's not the most exciting, but if you want to follow me and I'll follow you back, that's fine.
Snap follow backs.
Yes, I'll follow. You can follow me on Instagram at DG Imagination, literally spelt all together,
that
lowercase.
Is already your hype man name. Like, what's up? Got DJ Imagination here. Woo!
Oh my god, if I became
DG.
a DJ.
Yeah, DG Imagination, right? Yeah, bam.
DG Imagination. DG Imagination. If I became DG, like, that would be crazy.
That would be too much. People are like, what? What did you just say?
How many letters are in that?
All right, y'all. Until next time, stay safe and stay traveling.
Adios.
Hey, fellow travelers. I hope you liked that video. If there is a place or a city or a country you would like to know more about or you're thinking about visiting, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, really, truly, check out our other videos. I think you might like them. And also, ring the bell because we release a podcast every other Monday, and then we'll be releasing some extra special content in between each podcast for you. Travel tips, travel advice, inspirational videos. We got lots of stuff. And we want you to be aware. We want you to be like the first to know. So definitely ring that bell and then hit the subscribe button. Seriously, because we're awesome and you're gonna love this channel so much. So I'm gonna wait until you hit that subscribe button. Did you hit the subscribe button?